Hi, welcome Ogle Nation. I'm Christina Shepik, your graduate career coordinator, connecting you with career opportunities in the beauty industry. And today I have a featured guest, Jessie Cormier from Associated Skincare Professionals and Associated Hair Care Professionals. And she's here to share a little bit about herself and the membership, the premium membership that Ogle does provide for you guys as students, and how that will help to launch you into your rewarding career in the beauty industry. So, welcome, Jessie. Hi, it's so good to see you.
Hello, it's great to see you, Christina, and thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with you and your students. It's always a pleasure when I get to reach out to students, especially when they're members. It makes it
Yes,
really cool.
great. We're so excited about this opportunity. So, Jessie, tell us a little bit about you and your background, how you came to be a part of these professional associations. I know
Sure.
that you're the senior director of school outreach, so you work with a lot of schools. And then also just tell us about, an overview of the benefit of these student premium memberships for both Associated Skincare Professionals and Associated Hair Care Professionals.
You bet. Well, my own background, I've been with the company for 23 years. I'm almost a lifer. I've held a couple different roles, but probably for the last 12 years, I have been the director of school outreach. And it has been a wonderful, fulfilling career because before COVID, I could visit many hundreds of schools across the country every year. I have visited many Ogle campuses several times to meet the directors, the instructors, and the students. And I loved what I do. I mean, the face to face is wonderful. Now, since COVID, most of it's been Zoom, which we make work, right? We have to deal with what we have. But still, I do miss the face to face. And I will tell you, I am an esthetician myself. I was licensed back in 2018, and I had a small private practice actually here at the office. Now, I haven't seen my clients for about a year because of COVID, but it was very fulfilling to keep the hands on portion of my skills up. And I hope to get back to it very soon when things calm down. Now, let me tell you just a little bit about the company. I mean, who are we? Well, first of all, we are the largest association in the country for licensed beauty professionals and students. And we have about 35,000 members nationwide. So we're very large. And I think the reason we've grown so large is that we offer some amazing resources at a great price. So, of course, I will tell you all about that today. Let me just tell you a little overview of the premium student membership that you all have right now. Now, you have access to all the same benefits and resources that our professional members do, and those include education, which is really important to us, protection with liability insurance, and career support to really help you get a head start when you do graduate and get your license. So, we'll probably focus on each one of these, and I'll tell you all about it.
I'm excited. I can't wait for you to share.
Me too. So let's start with education. Okay. Now, I think we know in the beauty industry that it is lifelong learning because things are always changing. There's new ingredients being introduced, new color, new cut, new styles. There's a lot we have to keep up on. And believe me, our clients expect us to as well. So if you don't keep up on the latest and greatest, they might go somewhere else, and you don't want that. So let's talk about each one of these a little bit and how they help to educate you and keep you up on the latest things. So, first for our cosmetology and barber members, we have a brand new magazine. I think it's the hottest one out there, and it's called Indie Stylist. Now, you will get the digital copy every other month in your inbox. So, please open it and read it. Every issue has different color techniques, formulas you can try yourself. There's tips from some of the pros out there, very inspiring stories. Of course, there are connections with some of our industry greats. Just a lot of good information. So I hope you enjoy it. I think it's a fabulous publication. I love all the images. I think you'll love it. Now, for skincare, we offer our Skin Deep digital magazine. Again, it comes out every other month. And our editor really prides herself. She goes to a lot of trade shows, a lot of different educational venues to keep up on the latest and greatest. So you can read about new techniques, new modalities, new ingredients. We do hold different events where our members can take part, like our Reader's Choice Awards. So our members can actually vote for their favorite product line, their favorite equipment manufacturers, and then we hold a really nice award ceremony for them, and we give them prizes because you voted they were the best. So you can really get involved with some of the top names in our industry. Now, career toolkits, this is for ASCP students at the moment. Um, but this is a fabulous tool. It's one of our newest resources. And what it's really designed to do is to help you determine what your best career path is. Are you better suited to be a successful employee, or are you really ready to open your own business out of the gate? So, first, there's a quiz that you can take. And what that will do is really tell you which path you should choose. Then there's also the toolkits for either choice, the employee success or business startup. And in each of those toolkits, there's articles you can read, there are videos you can watch, there are podcasts you can listen to. So a ton of resources for either choice. Now, we also have industry calculators that are interactive. So for an employee, you can plug in the numbers and try to figure out what your compensation will be for that particular place of business. For business startup, we have one that will help you figure out your startup costs. What will it really cost to go into business? And then there's one that helps you figure out your potential revenue as a business owner. So you can play with those all you want. I just think they're a fabulous tool.
Yeah, they're great. I love.
They're awesome. And the good news is that it's coming very soon for AHP. Now, we expect this to be ready by spring of 2021, hopefully sooner in spring than later. But it's set up pretty much the same way, but there's a couple of extra things too for the students. Of course, they're the same calculators, so you can do the same, calculations on different scenarios. We do have our portfolio and free website builder. Now, I won't talk too much about that right now because we'll address that a little bit later when we talk about career support. There's a job board that lists not only salon job openings, but also chair rentals that are available, salon suites that are open. So we really, try to help push you in the right direction. And then career insights on really how to transition from being a graduate to a successful employee. So that's coming very soon. We didn't forget about you, I promise. And then one of my favorite of our educational benefits are our on-demand educational videos. All kinds of different topics. These are put on by top names in our industry. Um, these are people that are so successful and they're willing to share their knowledge with you. So they're not trying to sell you anything. It's just great education. So you can choose the topics you want. We are adding to this library all the time. So definitely a nice way to kind of branch out and maybe learn about things that your textbook doesn't cover.
Those are really nice resources. I love it. Jesse, you mentioned offering protection to our students. What exactly does that mean?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Now, all the students are probably thinking, oh, we're going to talk about insurance. How boring. But honestly, this is something that is so necessary in our industry. So I want you to at least have an understanding of why it's so important. Now, there are three types of liability insurance, but I'm going to talk about those in just a minute. First, let's find out what it is. What is liability insurance? So, this is the legal definition, but what it means is that you've been negligent somehow and you've injured your client or you've damaged their property. And liability insurance protects you in these cases. Now, it might also be that a client doesn't disclose everything to you. Maybe they've been using box dye for years at home and they haven't told you that. Or maybe they're on a medication and the treatment you're about to give them is contraindicated for that medication. But I'm sorry to say that even if you did not, cause the injury, if the client wasn't honest or truthful, they can still sue you. So this is why you really need to look at being protected. Okay, so the three types of liability insurance that we need in our industry, there's general liability, and that means that you've damaged a client property somehow during the service, or a client's been injured by something in your space. For example, a few years ago in the headlines, there was a client who was getting her hair done, and the salon chair collapsed, and she fell and hurt her back and her neck. So that settled for like $99,000. It wasn't the stylist's fault. It was a faulty piece of equipment. But let's hope she had insurance or that the salon did, that they would cover that. Then product liability means that the client has had an allergic reaction, either to a product you've used during the service or something you sold to them to take home. Now, professional liability is where you actually injure the client during the service itself. So, what do you think? Can beauty professionals really injure clients?
Oh, absolutely. not
Absolutely,
not meaning
yes.
to. I mean, we're just taking that risk, right, as
That's
providing
right.
the services. So,
That's right.
yeah, I mean, I've I've been in the industry for over 20 years and I've had some of those hiccups before, so I can
I'm
tell
sure.
how useful this is.
And I'd be amazed if anyone is in the industry for 20 years and they haven't heard of something that's happened or something's happened to their own clients. So any given month, we have about 250 claims that are open and active. Now, some of these might be minor. Maybe it's just a slight allergic reaction to a product and the client's fine in a few days, but it can also be very major with lifting and tearing of skin that results in scarring, major chemical burns. We just settled one lawsuit that went on for 5 years, and the settlement was $1.2 million. It was just a chemical peel that went wrong. So, that's where you really start to look at, do you have $1 million to give a client? Probably not. I know I don't. So let's talk about, I want to give you an example of those different types of liability. So this one is about general liability. And this was our member. She was an esthetician, and she had gone to a client's home to do a service. So the client had her set up in the dining room, and our member put all of her products on this dining room table. Well, when it was time for her to pack up and leave, the bottles of product were oily and they had left rings on the table that basically had ruined the table. So our member reported the claim. Well, it turns out the dining room table was an antique. So Christina, you want to guess how much that might have cost to settle?
I don't know, maybe 10 grand.
Oh, you're exactly right.
I do like antique furniture. So
Oh my gosh, that's
I think,
great.
oh wow, that's still
$10,000.
a lot. That's a lot for a table.
That's a lot for a table.
I
And
don't have one that's 10 grand. Mine's a couple hundred, but I get it.
IKEA, baby,
Yeah.
Um, so our insurance company paid that $10,000, and luckily our member was able to save the relationship with the client. But if she hadn't have had insurance, the client still would want her to replace the table. So, insurance can protect you in some very weird circumstances. Now, the next story kind of involves both product and professional liability. So this was a woman in Florida, and she wanted to go from brown hair to platinum blonde. So she went to a stylist. She hadn't seen the stylist before, but the stylist had been using the same product for years with no problem. So after she applied the solution, it was probably about 10, 15 minutes into it, the client said that her scalp was really burning. And our member said, you don't have much longer to go. It'll be fine. Let's just hang in there. So the client didn't say anything more. But when she left, she felt like her scalp was raw. So she went to the ER, and sure enough, they said that she had third-degree burns on her scalp. Now, weeks later, she's losing hair. She has gone to a burn clinic for 3 different surgeries, and she'll probably never grow hair again in that spot. So she sued the salon. The salon said, nope, not us. She rents a chair. We don't cover her. So the poor stylist did not have liability insurance. She was not our member. And this claim was almost $400,000. So 2 lessons here. The first one is if the client complains, get the product off their hair immediately.
Right.
And the second thing is protect yourself with insurance, especially if you rent a chair or you're a suite renter. That person, that entity is not protecting you. It's up to you. So I just wanted to share those stories, and
No,
sorry about the graphics.
no, I love it. It's such a valuable lesson because things like that can happen. And as you spoke of
Mhm.
before, people don't always tell us everything, or they don't
That's right.
think that they don't think there's a reason to tell
That's
us
right.
something.
That's
And
right.
there's also things like that are just invariable that we don't know.
That's
They
right.
don't think they're doing anything. And I've had hair color experiences like that before, and skin experiences
Hmm.
too, where it
Hmm.
was reactive, and we didn't know what was going on with the chemistry of that person. And there was
Right.
nothing changed with my products, but they had a reaction, or we had
Yeah.
this, a situation like this. This is a great example. So
And
yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. A lot of times the client just doesn't, put 2 and 2 together, and they don't understand, if they're on a certain medication, it can absolutely react to what we're putting on their face or on their hair. So, yeah, so things unfortunately do happen. And I'm not here to scare any students, don't be afraid to work on clients, but do protect yourself and use common sense a lot of times too. Okay, so let's talk about the insurance that we offer. And this is what you have right now as students. You have occurrence form, which is, I won't bore you with these first 2 because right now they probably don't mean much to you. But when you do start looking for liability insurance as a professional, make sure it's occurrence form and make sure it's individual coverage so you're not sharing it with anyone else. Those are important. Now, our insurance does cover all three of the product or the liability cases that we talked about. It is the same coverage we offer our professional members. So it's a $6 million policy per student per year, and it covers up to $2 million per occurrence in those three categories. Now, this protects you for all school related or approved activities. So even if you're maybe doing some volunteer work, on behalf of the school outside of school grounds, you would still be covered. So it's great insurance. And we do cover legal fees and court costs even above that 2 million per occurrence. So with us, you're covered, right? It's the best insurance in our industry. And I know that because we do our research.
Yeah, it is amazing. I know that. We worked together for quite a few years now.
Yes,
So,
yes, we have.
yeah, that's so awesome. I mean, and you're bringing up some really good points. Just wondering, um, what is an occurrence policy? Like you're saying that they need that once they graduate, or you can talk about
Sure.
it later maybe. But just curious because I'm not really familiar with that.
Sure. Well, occurrence form is the good kind. Claims made is the bad kind.
Okay.
Now, what this means is that with occurrence form, let's say you've been a member for a year, you're pregnant, you want to just take a break from skincare and have the baby and whatever, so you don't renew your policy. Well, all of a sudden, a client from like 9 months ago is suing you. Now, with occurrence form, as long as you had the policy in place when the client injury happened, even if it's a year later, we will still cover that claim. Claims made means if you call your claims made company and say, hey, my client from a year ago is suing me, if your policy is not current with them at that moment, they will not cover anything that happened in the past.
Well, that's
So
so
it's
good to know.
cheaper and it's really sneaky.
Oh,
So
I
you
didn't know
don't want
that. I had
oh
no
yeah.
idea. Like, I'm so glad you shared that because
Yep.
that really reinforces, why your insurance is the best. Or
Well,
what?
and it might not be the cheapest, but that's what you have to watch out for. And shared coverage means that you're sharing your policy with everyone else that has that policy. So that would mean for our coverage, if it were shared, you would be sharing that 6 million with 35,000 other professionals.
I
Okay?
see. That's so good to know because we don't know
Yeah.
that. We're just
Yeah.
doing hair and skin and nails
Right.
and happy
Right.
about that, and would never know about this. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That's
Sure.
so
You're
valuable.
not insurance agents, so you're not expected to know that, but there are differences in insurance for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's so cool. I love that.
Good. Good. Well, shall we move on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, just one thing I wanted to mention before you ask the next question, Christina, was many of your graduates, will probably go to work for someone when they first get their license, just to build confidence, build clientele. I just want one little word of warning. If you are going to rely on your employer's coverage, make sure they completely cover you. Get a copy of the policy, read it and understand it, because many times the insurance agent that covers the spa or salon is just assuming the client will sue the business name. But if your client also sues you, make sure that spa or salon will cover you individually, will cover your court costs, or if the judge says you personally owe anything to that client, that they will cover that as well. So in my opinion, it's best to have your own insurance that you know and trust. But if you do rely on the employer, do some homework, okay? Do a little research.
Yeah, no, I think that's so great. And depending on what kind of company you're working for, as we've learned a little bit about policies now,
Mhm.
that makes sense. It's worth it.
Well,
So,
good,
yeah,
good. We think so
yeah.
too.
Okay, Jesse, that's so great about learning about the employee coverage and how important that is. As a service provider, like we all assume when we're working for someone else that we're fully covered. Don't
Mhm.
really realize that if you're not covered, they personally could go after you,
Mhm. Mhm.
even if you are covered.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's really good to know.
Good.
I did want to talk to you because I am career services. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
more about the career support. We have lots of students that are, going after, their first opportunities in the beauty industry, or we might have, I know we have a lot of students that are ready to just launch their own business. Maybe they've
Yeah.
been in the beauty industry doing other things like they're a barber or their nails or
Mhm.
massage therapist, and now they're adding aesthetics or cosmetology,
Right.
to their business. Um, and so, tell me a little bit more about those resources
Oh,
and
sure.
once they, graduated and they're ready to get moving.
You bet. My pleasure. because I get really excited about our career support. And remember, you have access, all of you students, right now to these very things. So I'm going to list them all really quickly, but then I want to talk about each one of them individually because they really are a huge asset to you. So first, let's talk about the marketing toolkits. Now, this is an absolutely free website, okay? There's no strings attached. It's completely free as long as you're a member. And what we've done is we've created these toolkits, taking our most popular mobile-friendly website templates, and we've created marketing materials to match. So there's things like gift certificates, appointment cards, client reward cards, even social media cover photos that all match your website. We also give you an email that matches your website URL. So that means on a resume or business card, it looks really professional. It's so easy to change the look of your website. A click of a button will change every page, so you can really play around with it and find a look that you like. And what I would recommend, and believe me, it's fun to use. We've got step-by-step instructions on setting it up. If you do get stuck doing something difficult, just call our membership services team. We've got some experts that can walk you through some of the more difficult things. But what I would suggest is while you're in school, you can actually set this up as an online portfolio to help you land that first job. You can update your website 24/7 anytime. It can be unlimited pages. So what I would suggest is that you use this to interview. You can upload your resume and cover letter as a page of your portfolio. If you have any client testimonial videos that you shot, you could have a page of those, or even verbal testimonials from clients. Definitely before and after photos, you want to, show off your work. You could even have a video of yourself introducing yourself to the employer. So this can really set you apart from everyone else looking for that best job in town. I would highly suggest you use it, play around with it. You can do whatever you want to with this. It's a great tool. So please try it out. And then we know how much you love social media. So we have a social media meme library for, both AHP and ASCP. So you can post every day and let the world know what you do for a living, what you will be doing. And you could even start building a following by doing these postings. So I hope you'll hop in there and start using those right away.
That's awesome. That's
Isn't
that's
that cool?
time and effort. I know.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
try to do the work for them, absolutely.
that. Help them run their business.
And then I also want to remember, under education, we talked about the toolkits, but that's really to prepare you for the real world as well. So I really encourage you to go in and look at those resources because they are amazing. We add to it all the time. Now, one thing I think is a trend across the country that's very disturbing is deregulation. They're trying to take away licensure for cosmetology, skincare, or even take away from scope of practice. So we have created an ebook on legislative matters. And I know that sounds like, ugh, but you need to protect your license. You need to protect your scope of practice. And this takes you through step by step who to contact. It gives you sample letters or emails to send to your representatives to really make your voice be heard. So I hope you'll take a look at that. Definitely as a professional, you're going to want to keep an eye on what your state board is doing with your license. Okay.
Yeah, very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's very user friendly. I mean, it's not written in legal terms. I mean, I read it and I was like, wow, this is great. I understand it. So definitely give it a try. And then we've got discounts. So we have more than 50 partners that can save you money on things you use every day. And you could be taking advantage of this right now. So for example, if you have Verizon or Sprint for your cell phone service, you can save every month on your bill just because you're a student member. You can save on salon and spa supplies, on hotels and rental cars, on vision wear or dental services, definitely advanced education. I mean, it goes on and on. So hop online and take a look and see where you can start saving money. At least make yourself familiar with it so that in the future, if you need that service, that you can save some money. Okay?
That's very cool. I mean, the cell phone bill alone.
Yeah. I've saved $20 a month for, gosh, 10 years.
Oh, wow. Well, I have
Adds
Sprint,
up.
so I need to check it out.
Yeah, you do need to check it out. Absolutely.
So I know we've discussed about the student premium membership. Can you tell me a little bit more about the professional membership in the discount that they get with Ogle and just how that rolls over
Oh, absolutely. You bet.
yeah, to the licensed professional?
You bet. So the pricing for our professional membership, I think, is very reasonable. For skincare, it's $259 for the year, and for cosmetology or barbers, it's $199 for the year. Now that gives you everything that I just talked about, including liability insurance that covers you anywhere you work, no matter how many settings. It even covers you state to state as long as you're legally operating. So you get all that wonderful stuff, and I think it's a great price. But since you were student members, you're going to get a nice discount. So you're only going to pay $200 for your first full year as a skincare professional and only $150 for a cosmetologist. So we can even take those dues and split them into 2 or 3 monthly installments, and we don't charge extra for that. So it makes it very, very affordable to get that liability insurance in place as a professional. Now, when you are ready to upgrade, it's very easy. That discount is waiting for you. So you don't have to do anything special. You can call us and upgrade over the phone. You can go online and upgrade. We actually send you an upgrade form that you can do snail mail if you want. So it's a very, very easy process. And it's a quick process. So let's say you call us tomorrow and say, oh my gosh, I start a job on Monday. I need my insurance. Your insurance goes into effect the day after you contact us. So we can email you a certificate of insurance. So you have that proof right away to show the employer. So it's a very quick and easy process.
Wow, that's
Right.
so nice. I
Yeah,
mean, with the phone discount too, my wheels are turning. Like if I got $20 a month, it's almost that costs even less,
that's
like
right.
60 and 20. It's worth it right there. So I
That's
love it.
right.
And
Yeah,
besides all the other benefit that you're getting, that's amazing. I do have one more question.
sure, of course.
I know we've predominantly talked about, what our licensed graduates will need, but I know that they also have additional, courses and training that they take. Could you just talk about like some, just quickly, like name just the other insurance that are available and who they could contact for that?
Okay, so yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Christina, because we do offer what we call advanced modality coverage. So if any of you are thinking of doing permanent makeup or microblading or IPL or laser, we cover those things. Now they are an additional charge, and you do need to be a member to have access. But I think we're very competitively priced. We trust our insurance company. We've been with them for more than 15 years. So you're in really good hands. So if you do want information about that, we can even have pricing on our webpage. So just go to the homepage of our website and you can see the prices, you can see how to apply. It's very easy. And also, if you do ever rent your own place and you've got your own business personal property, that's there, your contents, we offer coverage for that too. And it's very reasonable. It's $95 a year and it covers up to $10,000 of your equipment, anything, whether it's a computer, or your products, your bed, your chair, whatever it might be. So just know that we do have additional insurance options for you.
Oh, that's so nice just to be able to go in one place. I mean, I know this is covering like the big scope of it, but there are those little specialty things that, like especially I know with the microblading and things
Mhm.
like that, that you need an extended policy for.
Right,
So
right.
that's great that y'all offer that. Thank you so much for this, Jesse.
Oh, sure.
We
This has been my pleasure. Absolutely. And I want you all to know that you can contact me, Melissa, or Maggie at any time. We're all school outreach team. And this was a lot of information. So I'm sure you will have some questions. We would love to hear from you anytime.
That's great, Jesse. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I think now let's just go ahead and open it up. Students, if you guys have some questions, you can go ahead and unmute or send a message in the chat and we'll just answer a few questions.
Sounds great. And before we do that, I just want to wish you all the very best in school. You chose a wonderful school. Ogle, I've been dealing with them for many, many years, and you are in for a great education and a great career. So good luck.
Thank you, Jesse.
Sure.